And if you've been walking with us through the first three teachings, then we want you to know that everything that we have covered has been building to this moment. Now, in part one, we watched David carry the ark of Yahweh's presence on a new cart, resulting in the death of Uzzah and the abrupt end of a celebration that had looked like genuine worship. And then in part two, we watched David go back to the Torah, own the failure, and rebuild the entire procession according to Yahweh's prescribed instructions. And we saw what happened when obedience finally met intention. The ark, it arrived in Jerusalem with great joy and national blessing. Then in part three, we stepped into Jeremiah's world and we examined the crisis that produced this urgent call: the corrupt priests and the false prophets, the cracked cisterns of human-constructed religion, the nation that had forgotten even how to blush, the storm gathering from the north, and the extraordinary patience of Yahweh, who kept sending his messengers time after time. And so now in part four, we stand at the crossroads. Jeremiah 6:16 is the heart of this entire series. It is the word that ties David's story to Judah's crisis and to our own generation. And we want to give it the full, unhurried attention that it deserves. We want to walk through each one of Yahweh's four commands, receiving the great promise that accompanies them, addressing the new covenant directly from its own biblical definition, and asking what returning to the ancient paths actually look like for those of us living in this generation. Now, Jeremiah 6:16 is a verse that most people who have spent time in the scriptures have encountered, at least in passing. But it's the kind of verse that, when read without its context, can be received as a general spiritual encouragement, a pleasant call to return to a simpler, more authentic faith, if you will. And so after three teachings in this series, we're no longer reading it without its context. We know the prophet who spoke it. We know the people he spoke it to. We know the crisis that it was spoken into. And that means that we're finally positioned to hear it with the weight that it was meant to carry. And we need to understand this is not a mild suggestion offered in a season of spiritual stability. This is a final, gracious, urgent invitation extended by an Elohim of great compassion to a people standing at the edge of catastrophic, self-inflicted consequence, with the army of Babylon already visible on the northern horizon. And every word of this verse, it was chosen with care. Every command embedded in it was given for a specific reason. And we touched on these in the second teaching. But today, we want to go deeper into these principles and glean the full weight of the cry of the ancient prophet as it echoes into our day